Since the last time I thought a little bit about the format of these videos, and I thought that for the foreseeable future, maybe 3 or 4 videos, I'll start a little bit with some general ideas that I have for these videos, some general direction of where I would like to take my, well, it's not even a channel, just where I would like to take these videos to, and then I'll continue with the theme that I'll pick for the video. For now it will be the game Neverwinter Nights, but in the future it will be all over the place. I won't be covering any topics. It's not like I'll read some news or react to anything. I'll just talk about stuff that I enjoy, that's dear to me, or that had some significant impact on me during my either childhood or the later years of my life. I'm not that old. I'm not even 30, so hopefully it will help me, and maybe someone might even find it interesting. We'll see. About the content, I'd like to just talk. No, no regard to if it's a spoiler or if it's an opinion that might be weird. I will stray far away from any controversies. I'll just, I don't know, talk a little bit. Hopefully my English will improve, because that's 50% of the reason why I'm doing this, and we'll see where it goes. Regarding the game that I was talking about, I ended up pretty much talking about just the premise, a little bit about the studio, but nothing serious. They made one of the best games out there, by my standards, obviously, it's my opinion, which was Baldur's Gate. And then they delivered all kinds of games on at least the same level as Baldur's Gate. Landscape Torment, great game, really heavy on philosophy and all around ideas about life. It's a great game. RPG, but the dialogue is well worth reading. Then they made Knights of the Old Republic, probably the best content Star Wars ever delivered outside of the original trilogy. Second game is, to me, way more interesting, way dearer than the movies ever were, and I like the movies. But still, the game was just so good and made me happy playing it so many times. They obviously made Neverwinter Nights, and then some, let's say, experimental games like Jade Empire. It was an interesting venture. Still had the BioWare undertone, but it was quite a different venture. And then obviously the big hitters of the later years of the studio, which were Mass Effect and Dragon Age. I'll obviously talk about all these games. I won't talk about anything past Dragon Age Origin for reasons, and I'll end Mass Effect probably at the end of the Citadel DLC, because again, reasons. Well, now back to Neverwinter. We saved the Academy, well, saved in parentheses, and then we are in the city of Neverwinter, and we are getting ready for our first adventure. Before then, we are going to find some mercenaries, which was what Lady Erubet sent us to do. So, during my childhood, I was pretty much obvious to any form of gameplay reasons to pick one or the other, same as I did not really care if I picked a warrior or a wizard or sorcerer or one of the many other professions that Neverwinter Nights offers, because I just wanted to play a game. That was my only purpose, only reason for doing so. But obviously, it's a BioWare game, and it has, let's say, hints of romance in the original game. They are expanded on in the story DLC, which is called Hordes of the Underdark. I'll talk about that. But uh, what I want to say is that there are two mercenaries that are men. One of them is a halfling, the other one is a half orc. And then there are two other mercenaries. They are female and they are elves. So let's say that my choices were quite obvious. Not for, again, gameplay reasons, even though it was perfectly viable back then to just play the game. However, did not really matter if you were willing to spend a bit more on making sure that your character was viable, at least a little bit, then you could play whatever you wanted, any combination you wanted. And again, I was playing with a walkthrough and even with cheats, which is maybe in some parts of the community considered a blasphemy, but I really don't care. I just wanted to play the game. I wanted to be able to pick whatever choice I wanted, and that meant I needed to be able to meet some checks like persuasion, intimidation, other stuff. So I just helped myself a little bit during absolute majority of my playthroughs, especially those in the later years when I was just exploring the game, trying to find out different dialogue options, or even those mentioned hints of romance that you can experience with both Lady Erbet and your mercenaries. I'm pretty sure you can experience some sort of with both genders, but I've never really played anything past the opening with a female character. I just did not care. I had other things to do, let's just say. So I would say more likely to pick Sharvin, which was an elven bard, and your mercenary had quests for you, and usually revolved around finding out an item during your travels in said chapter, and just talking to your companion. So we with my sister we usually, as I said in the previous video, we just went through the game as the walkthrough said. So we started in the Peninsula District. There are some side quests. You can meet some characters and NPCs around the district. You can help. Usually takes a matter of minutes to just do a small quest, kill a few enemies, help someone reach a gate or something like that. These were in general quite easy, and then you had the overarching plotline. In case of Peninsula District, it was dealing with the escaped prisoners. Obviously, there were roaming bands of them outside that you could kill for experience and some small change, few very weak items, nothing special. Then there are obviously chests all around the town. You could enter houses. You could, let's just say, requisition the items in those houses without the owner's knowledge, which obviously I always did. No remorse. And then you had a contact person in the Peninsula District, and you went on your merry way to the jail to find the mastermind behind the jailbreak. There was an NPC guard that survived the uprising. He would provide some information about your enemy, which was in reality a host for one of the creatures that were hosted in the academy prior to the attack, and they had some pretty significant reason to exist. They were meant to provide a cure for plague that is currently endangering the entirety of Neverwinter. And this one was a devourer, an intellect devourer to be precise, which was parasiting on one of the guards. And once you kill it, you pick up the piece of 1/4 of the needed cure, and you can report your progress to the contact person. You'll get some reward, and then you'll report to your main contact, who's Lady Aribeth. And that's about it for today's video. So hopefully it makes sense, at least a little bit, and it's at least a little bit possible to listen to. We'll see.